My first reaction was to a little bit of panic. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were going to survive. And I was very concerned about my employees and what they were going to do.
As the coronavirus health crisis develops, the order to stay home and practice social distancing in hopes of curbing the spread of COVID-19 has put restaurants on pause, forcing many to close and causing others to barely survive. Jorge Aguirre, owner of the Colombian restaurant La Chiva, is doing everything he can to keep his business running and the check coming for his employees.
We don't want to be forgotten. We worked very hard for the last 3 years to build our restaurant and build our reputation.
When Jorge saw a niche in the restaurant business, he realized there were not many good Colombian restaurants that actually served Colombian food and offered the opportunity to experience their culture.
Most people, the things that they know about Colombia is what they see on the news, and it's not a good thing. You know, it's always about Escobar and the drugs and all that kind of stuff. And as we know, that's a small percentage of the population, right? Like the majority of the people are great people. Like there's great people everywhere. So that's something that hurt me. Wow.
Before starting his dream, Jorge got back to Colorado after working for 25 years in IT and decided to go to culinary school.
And one of the chefs kind of brought me down to earth and said, you know, starting a restaurant is not an easy thing. It's going to be something very tough, very difficult. And he said, why don't you start small and start with maybe with a hot dog cart somewhere in a corner or a food truck. The event was supposed to be June 12th, and the truck was supposed to be finished in May, and of course it wasn't finished. And here comes the event, and the week of the event, the truck was not going to be ready. So I had to scramble. I got a tent from a friend. I got some equipment that I borrowed from somebody else. I went downtown. I got some permits, scramble, and we put it together, and we were able to meet our commitment.
In a tent with a few signs, Jorge and his wife made 400 empanadas prior to the event, which sold out in less than 2 hours.
We didn't know. We didn't know if people were going to like it. We're frying. We're selling them something fried, empanadas. And we figured, well, maybe people are not going to like the fried thing. But most people didn't know what an empanada was. They would come and they were like, oh, what do you have there? And, you know, they will, all right, give me one. And they will take it and then we'll come back and say, all right, give me 10. And that's when we knew that we had something good because people kept coming back. We were on a big high that day. The next day, I sat down and I did the numbers, and we actually lost money. But we were happy. You know, we were great.
After 3 years of having the food truck and seeing the success of their business, they were positive that people now would recognize them and would visit them wherever they went.
We decided we needed a little more stress. So we said, let's open a restaurant. We, you know, looked for a place. We had a realtor. We found the place. We started working on it, went through the permits. Took forever to get everything together to be able to open. We wanted to open in March and we ended up opening in June. The day of the grand opening, our pump stopped working in the basement. So, and we didn't know until we went to close the basement and it was flooded. So after all that work, and you know, we were tired and we were okay, we finished, we made it. We went down there and it's water and it's all over the place.
People were excited to see them take the next step and they kept coming back to try their food. But after a few months of success and excitement, things leveled off and the curve wasn't going up anymore.
You know, there's always the stress that what's happening, how come it's not as good as it was the first. But as you learn, that's kind of the way the business is. You know, when people are, I guess it's something new, people want to go see it, and then it kind of levels off, and then you start building it up again. And that's exactly what happened. And the great part is that about 6 months after we opened, we broke even.
Despite all of the challenges and ups and downs, La Chiva has been a great success until COVID-19 happened, and they had to make big adjustments to keep their head above water in the midst of the social and economic storm that unleashed the virus. The solution for now has been relying on more takeout apps. Unfortunately, he's not sure if this is going to be enough to survive this difficult time.
It's a huge difference. I mean, we're probably overall we might be doing maybe 15% of what we used to do. It's been a big drop. I mean, our restaurant is more of a destination. That's kind of the way we designed it. Something special here in Denver. So people enjoy coming here, trying the food and the ambience and the way we treat them, the way we service them. That's part of the whole experience, and that's how we build our restaurant around that.
With a crisis that does not have an apparent date to end, the concern is clear. But despite the uncertainty, Jorge is optimistic and has hopes for his business to get through this.
We had to adjust drastically. We went from sometimes we had 11 or 12 employees here in any given day, especially on the weekends, to having 2 or 3, which is, and sometimes there's not enough to do.
After 6 years of hard work, Jorge is not giving up. He's doing all that he can to get through this time and keep his restaurant open in hopes that their sacrifices were not in vain.
Just by the reaction of the people when they come and they tell me that I don't know Colombian food. What is Colombian food? They have no clue. And then I explain it to them, and then I tell them I recommend what they might want to try, and then they try it, and then they love it. It's exposing them to our culture and to the other things that we do well. And a lot of times they're surprised, and I mean they keep coming back. I love that. That's my that's my reward. That's it. That's my reward. Yeah.